Hello and welcome to another exclusive review by me, Alex Belfield, here at celebrityradio.biz. We just hit 60 million minutes viewed on YouTube. We're the number one reviewer of theatre in the UK and Las Vegas. There is one show in Las Vegas that has created more emails in my inbox, more messages to Messenger and Twitter than I've ever had for any show anywhere in the world ever. And that show is R.U.N. by Cirque Du Soleil. I unfortunately haven't been in Las Vegas since May. I was there for a month and frankly can't justify going back to review one show. But people have been begging me to go and see this monstrosity, as they describe it, believing that I won't like it. Well, the press releases have been out from Cirque du Soleil. They've been telling us it's fabulous on things like TripAdvisor. People are using words like immersive, which no member of the public ever used ever in a review ever. It's a word that only PRs like using and fancy reviewers stick in just to sound like a smart-ass. So what I've done, I've sent 10 very high-profile celebrities, entertainers and reporters to see R.U.N. at Luxor Las Vegas, and we're going to bring you their reviews. Anonymously, of course. You know all of the people who have given me these comments. The first thing they all say is how amazing the lobby is. They have spent an absolute fortune on this production. It seems like it's had infinite budget, over 50 million spent on the show and the lobby, yet I get pictures of few people in the audience. In fact, at some performances I'm told there are between 50 and 200. Completely unsustainable. We even have one person asleep, so excited to see the show. I do hope that's not a member of the cast. The first reviewer said R.U.N. is awful. Empty at 9:33 p.m. People asleep at the end. $41 for 2 drinks in the bar. If you were to leave after the first half, it is 1 star. You've seen everything you're going to see, maybe 2 star by the finale. It just doesn't work for the time being. Absolutely, clearly and utterly the worst Cirque du Soleil show in history. This could only work as a free attraction in a theme park, and you'd cut it to 30 minutes. But look at what they did to the lobby, they say. Do you recognise the bar or the restrooms? What a total waste of money. This is insanity. They've effectively ruined one of the classiest theatres in Vegas. Interestingly, of course, this was the Chris Angel Theatre, which in its final days had Mind Freak Live, which was a stunning production. He's now at Planet Hollywood, of course. They've tried to, I think, copy his immersive feel of the show with the lighting and, of course, the lobby. His show begins as you go up the elevators to the theatre. Another person tells me the show is very repetitive, too much video, boring storyline, no engagement with the audience. It is not family friendly, although it says it's 14 plus. Heavy metal music throughout, very aggressive, a bad image for Las Vegas. A couple of positive things, interesting visual effects. The car seems to speed on stage with video background, and the guy who runs on a carpet behind is very well done. But it only works for 1 minute in my opinion, not dragged out as long as Cirque make it. The sword swallow fakir act is completely ruined and the audience don't understand that it's a real act because there's so much video in the show, totally wasted. Another person points out the motorcycles aren't real motorbikes because they're electric, therefore it loses the impact without the sound. They're also repetitive. Our next guest goes and says it's like a live movie, but everyone knows live movies are done with camera tricks and special effects, therefore it doesn't work as a theatrical production. So when you see a live battle of a motorcycle, you're so used to seeing it done better in movies because it can be edited. The biggest problem with this production is the repetition. It just goes on and on, over and over again, dragged out. We send another star to go and see this show. He says, interestingly, the motorcycles don't work. If you see the Globe of Death in Circus, this is far more impressive. That's basically the big circular 360 globe where they put up to 6 or 7 motorbikes in and they just go round and round. It's a 4-minute act in Panto or in Circus. That is spectacular. That's maybe the biggest problem with this show, is that it just goes on and on and on. The first applause at this evening's performance was 45 minutes in. This is the total length of most shows in Las Vegas. Ridiculous. My next guest. Wow, what a big waste of money for anybody who's paying. Thank God I was comped. That probably is the biggest insult of all. I asked another guest to go in and write down what they like. The video mapping, the live DJ is pretty cool. The moving car with video mapping is cool. The live band is great with all the circus shows. And the best part of this is the motorcycle guys, the 4 of them. But it's a mess. On walking in the lobby, you feel it's really amazing and spectacular in comparison to Disney. They certainly set up the vibe within minutes of walking in. He then goes on to say the problem is once the show starts, that's when the problems begin. You're instantly bored and you can't believe Cirque du Soleil have wasted this much money on something so boring and tedious. My next guest says, simply, this doesn't compete with the other shows in Las Vegas. That's the problem. If this turned up in a town in the middle of nowhere, you'd be excited to see it. Sadly for Cirque du Soleil, it is their worst show ever. It's trying too hard to be cool, and it's like being punched in the head. Okay, let's not just take our word for it. Let's look at TripAdvisor and see what they're saying. My guess, you could say, have an agenda. I don't know why they would. People in show business love something to be amazing. I saw a show last night. It was the best I'd ever seen, and I did a 5-star review and said it was. I have no reason to like or dislike anything. It makes no odds to me, one way or the other. My final reviewer says, I have no words. That's the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen. It is doing better on TripAdvisor, though, I have to tell you. It has 2-star reviews on average. Embarrassing, save your money. The worst thing I've ever seen. This won't be here in Vegas for long. 1 star from Michael G. Gives it 1 star, saying rip-off. No offense to the performers, but this show is a hot, steamy turd. Just run, says Potato Warden. If you are or have teenagers and like the motocross, they might like 15 minutes of this disaster. It is vulgar, violent, and disgusting. I know it's Vegas, but throwing the F-bomb a couple of times is unacceptable and certainly unexpected. 2 stars. Oh, we're doing better now. We're doing better. The motorcycles made it 2-star. That seems to be the thing. The talent in this is never the problem. I always say in my reviews, the talent are always 5 stars, normally in shows, especially at this level. It's unfortunately the creative and the arrogance of producers that destroy it. I'm struggling to find any good reviews on TripAdvisor, certainly on the first page there aren't any. So therefore we average all those reviews together and we come out with a 1-star disaster for Cirque du Soleil. It is beyond my comprehension how they've got it this wrong. They started off by not even knowing how to say the name. Originally it was R.U.N, 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 run. We don't even know how to say the name. And frankly, if you think I'm flying 10 hours to go and see a show that everybody's telling me is a monstrosity, I've got better things to do with my life and my money. Cirque du Soleil, here's an open offer. If you want to pay me to come and see it myself and give you my professional opinion, I will. You know my address, alex@alexbelfield.co.uk. Until May, when I return to Las Vegas, or unless you'd like to offer a flight and accommodation, we will leave this as our definitive review. 1 star, 10 pros in the business, and TripAdvisor agreeing it is a stinking turd. Run. Las Vegas at Cirque du Soleil's Luxor Theatre. Goodness gracious, how do you get it this wrong? You've been listening to another exclusive review by me, Alex Belfield, here at celebrityradio.biz, where last year we had over 12 million minutes viewed on YouTube. You can check out all of our hundreds of interviews and reviews at www.celebrityradio.biz.